Durban on the east coast, but more specifically in a place called Assegai. And the local streets, to me, are blockaded at the moment by neighborhood watch guys. Um, the few towns, a number of towns, and a big city, including Pietermaritzburg, um, which is away from here, about 40 kilometers from here, um, was pretty badly hit by people with, with intent. I've heard stories, I can't corroborate these, but that there were actual gun battles between residents in these areas, in the suburban areas. And so the people here are understandably concerned by that, because it's really just up the street from here, some of the stuff that's been going on anyway. And the word is that the movement is coming this way, um, tonight, tomorrow, perhaps. I don't know. But, I haven't engaged in this kind of activity since 1987. And the journey I've been on these last 5-6 years has been one of seeking towards the love and harmony rather than division and hate. And that's really where I still stand, for sure. But self-defense is absolutely required in the face of tyranny. Unfortunately, people, they don't know who the tyrant to them is these, maybe paid, I don't know, but these few thousands of people who are exceptional outside of their normal community, who are continuing what seems like a planned series of actions. There are extreme sort of right wing or left wing, I don't know which one you want to call it, but groups who have been perhaps weaponized mentally, if not physically. But, that's now being brought to a physical reality near us. So we're doing what we can. I went down to the barricade last night and I met some people, and I'm hopefully going to be developing a network here. My friend Francois, he's kind of stuck, but I won't go into that story here. So at the moment, this stuff is pretty real around here, and we've found ourselves in a situation where we didn't have any food supplies stashed away. We got ourselves, just for various reasons.
Partly because we thought we were moving on. So
we thought we were moving on from here. We were meant to be moving from here 2 or 3 days ago, and going elsewhere. Those plans have been put on hold, scuppered. And we had also spent the last 2 days prior to this kicking off. We were down in the beachfront, helping people with food, giving people food. And so when we'd gone to the shop, it had been with the intention of for those people and not for ourselves. We were going to get to that the next day or whatever. And the next day, well, as you saw from that other video, it didn't come through very clearly, but the queues were insane. 500 people long, possibly.
I think this should be a reminder to everybody. Just make sure you have.
I'm live. I forgot. Yeah.
You have a backstash.
Well, yeah, we think we obviously this is very real here, and there's very real evidence around us of things of being burned and so on. So it's not like it's not happening. And there's videos. I'm sure everyone has seen some of the starker videos of stuff going on here. So it's real, but we think it might become real elsewhere too. Anyway, so it's good advice to have stuff stashed away, and for a long time we had quite a lot of stuff stashed away, but we had to drop bags from the hot air balloon in order to get the lift to get away.
Well, even the 6 bags we arrived with, we're down to 3. So.
Yeah, we're down to 3 suitcases, but I mean bags of food. We had tins and bags and dry food and stuff like that, and so that's all not with us now. but we'll we're then required to kind of make a not just sit hunker down in a bunker and wait for it to blow over. We do need to be contributing here. Heavens knows why we're just laughing about Andrew and I. Like, oh my gosh, the journey we've taken to have landed up right here in this little sort of volcanic moment. But the feeling is that because this was created on purpose, the feeling is that this is going to go longer and go harder and go wider and spread and perhaps be the final one, as we said before. I mean, the pronouncements I'm hearing from like the French government and others, they sound frightening in terms of people's access to things if they're not following the rules. This isn't going away anytime soon, is it, friends? And I'm not the only one saying it's World War III now.
But I think we have to focus on glass half full, and that that we are sovereign, and that this will all work out in the end. We have to focus on that, because we cannot focus on. We have to be realistic. What you're walking through, but at the same time.
But you got to take that sovereignty. You can't just oh well, I'm going, like I've done with some of my license. No, well, I don't have to pay this. Well, no, until you actually tell them that, until you reassume and take back your sovereignty. There's a Peter Wilson we listen to. He might be worth listening to if you haven't. He's an English guy, talks about your sovereignty and stuff and how you take some of these things back. Tell him to give me some commission if you end up subbing to his channel. I wouldn't mind. Actually, someone, I can't remember the name. That guy sent us $50 the other day. If that was you, thank you very much. Oh, what was his name? I think it was $50. It was less in pounds because the exchange rate has plummeted for the dollar. What a surprise.
Anyway, we'll be sending him a personal
but
thank you.
I owe you a thank you personally. And to anyone else, we look like we're, certainly for the now, we are in this place, and we are going to have to face whatever's here. And yes, we have to take our sovereignty. We have to do that. And I think that if you see what's going on here, it is exciting people to come together in a spirit of communitarianism. Unfortunately, when I'm down there on the front lines, most guys are coming from the fairly mainstream perspective of this, the sort of the age-old sort of racial element is, of course, being peaked. No, I'm not having a go at the people here because they've done it in England with the football lately as well. It's as easy as that. So, that's been brought to the fore. And the truth is, I think that if you got into any of these communities, they'd say, no, we don't want this. But we're blaming each other for something that, this control system has sort of presided over.
Duality or unity. What are you choosing? Duality or unity?
Duality or unity. My boy wants me. We need a friend for him. He's such a beautiful boy. I'm sure all you all feel that about your children, but they do need peers. I'm hoping to find someone today. Actually, we're going to go see someone today who has a 3-year-old son, so we might be onto something. Anyway, I want to keep it short, and thanks for stopping by. If you're listening live, give it a thumbs up, and if you know South Africans or whatever, please maybe think of sharing this message to them, because I do think that people here need to be. There are lots of, actually, to be fair, there are lots of people who have their bug out plan and they got a go plan and so on. So there's that kind of stuff going on. But I think this is what I've been chasing for the last few years, is the sense that the only alternatives to being a piece of the machine is to genuinely lovingly and firmly separate yourself from it. And that division is becoming more and more kind of, it's becoming harder and harder to step back into the, or step forward, or backwards to this new normal, which is just becoming imprinted in people's minds. It's just still sickening to see people so easily, even down the barricade. There's guys wearing masks at the barricade. It's like, you still trust the government? I feel they've presided over this, but for them, again, it's like they see it more in the tones of black and white kind of, issues, when of course it's far more complex than that, and far more associated to trauma and mind control, brainwashing. A guy admitted to me last night, he said, yeah, we were brainwashed in the 70s and 80s with apartheid. I'm like, well, what about now? What about now? But when you're brainwashed, you can't see it. When you're under the spell of the hypnotist, you don't know it, and this is where you've got to be loving. But we can't, we're not going to solve the world's problems by continuing to have civil unrest and civil war and hunger and all the way it is. And that, there's people going, oh, just get us back to like normal. No, the normal system is so diseased, so unwell, so, and in this country they got the ex-president under 700 charges in a court case. 700 different charges are against him. Like, how do you amass 700 charges and for no one to have noticed it up until the time that the case was brought against you? That has to be some massive conspiracy, some massive corrupt, Jimmy Savile, all of that. But the narrative is that he's like been set up, or he's a complete criminal all by himself. Don't mind the organization that sat behind him and that administered billions of dollars of siphoning or misusing or whatever it is. Don't mind about that organization. Just hit Punch and Judy over there, the little puppet up front, That's what they do. And, I can't help but feel like the Zulu people have been played a little bit like the Republicans were last year with Donald Duck, Donald J. Trump. Someone wrote in the comment section that he was funded by Soros. I mean, yeah, well, that's, but others, like in this country, they see Ramaphosa, the current president, the incumbent, as, like this business guru because he's so wealthy. But so wealthy normally means like Jeff Bezos and what's his name, Facebook man. You're an actor for the system. Some other actor names came up the other day. Greta Thunberg. Obviously, everyone knows by now, surely, that Assange is a puppet. There are still people that fly his flag, but sorry to burst your bubble on that. Who else? There's definitely a few other high-profile names that are really just acting on behalf of the system. Some know it, and some probably don't. So I'm not saying that to be unkind to them, simply to be empowering to you if you still think that this is somehow, there's a savior coming. No, we need to take ourselves and create our own God-loving society. That's what we need, guys. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Gotta go.